What's going on, everybody? Hey, I kind of wanted to put a video out real quick to show something that I've been working on, and I want to kind of get everybody's opinion on it. Um, it it's a document that I created, basically a spreadsheet that kind of helps me speed up the process when it comes to me coming up with a bid and being able to submit it, and knowing the numbers that I'm getting from the potential client, knowing what numbers uh, I have if I put a subcontractor in there, knowing what the numbers are if I put a W-2 employee in there, knowing which one kind of benefits me more, understanding the breakdown of the hourly rate for the subcontractor, depending on what I decide to pay them, also the hourly rate for the employee. So all of that, I kind of have that into one kind of spreadsheet that makes it easier and quicker for me to be able to get a bid, submit it to an account to a client, and be able to understand and know that my numbers with this account that I'm trying to get fits uh, what I need in order to continue to grow, as opposed to getting into an account and underbidding and knowing that I'm not making enough from the account because I never do my numbers in the first place. So I'm gonna show you something. I want to see how you guys feel about it, if you like it. So I'm gonna go and share my screen real quick. See where it is. Did I lose it? I think it's here. Let's see here. Yes. Boom. There. Okay. So this is something kind of as a culmination of a lot of different other, uh, I guess, spreadsheets that I've seen, and I wanted to kind of combine it into one and make it look a little more aesthetically pleasing and be able, I can find the numbers that I actually need to find. So it's only a few things that you really are required to put in here to kind of make this work. So up here in the top left-hand corner, whatever the account name is. So let's put ABC account. Okay. So then you put that in there. Of course, over here, this is kind of a breakdown for 1099 contractors, and below down here, it's a breakdown of W-2 employees. So you see all these spots here and everything, but you only have to put in a little bit of information in order to get everything to calculate the way it needs to be calculated. So what you first need is, you need to know what the bidding amount, what kind of proposal number you're going to give to the client. So I'm going to put an even, let's put $1,500. So you put that in there, and you see numbers are already auto-populating. Then you go over here, you put in subcontractor percentage. Usually we range from 60 to about 80%. I rarely go that high. It just depends on the account. So I'll put a nice 65 there. Number of hours per clean. So you need to know what the man hours is to kind of see if it's going to work for you. I'll put 4 man hours, and let's just put 2 days per week. So 4 hours, 2 days per week. And then you'll put in, say, $10, whatever you pay your employees hourly. I never go as low as $10. I don't see how, if people still do that, that's kind of a low number. I range from 15 to 20. So I'm just going to put 15 here. Okay. So right now, now you know that you put in your account, you put in the amount that you're going to bid for the account, the percentage for your subcontractors, the number of hours per clean, man hours, of course, number of cleans per week, and the employee pay rate. This area right here, I'm going to come back and show you and explain what that means. But over here in this section, you don't have to change it. It's kind of set to like 10% for overhead costs is what I kind of average out, and then 5% for insurance. So I know that out of this amount, $150 will go towards overhead, and $75 will go towards the insurance. And that kind of goes into an account, and that's already coming out of that number that I bid. This labor cost right here, $975, that comes from this subcontractor. So that means from this, 65% of 1,500 will be 975. So that's something that's a number that I would kind of shoot for. Doesn't necessarily have to be that. You can negotiate lower, higher, whatever you want to do. But that number pops up over here. So you know this is what's coming out of that number for subcontractors. But if you add in the other overhead expenses and stuff like that that may be needed, it may go up to as high as 1,200. So it really depends. And then for employees, that number will be $519 you'll be paying out for your employees. But then when you add in payroll taxes and all the other overhead expenses, it comes to $854. So now you can see that it would probably benefit to go employee as opposed to subcontractor. Now you have to weigh that option to see if what works for you. There's a lot more that goes into doing having an employee, buying supplies, all kinds of other stuff. And that's what overhead costs is over here. Supplies goes into that and all that other stuff. So that's what that's for. But if you go down further into this list, it kind of breaks it down even more. And this is where I was always kind of, it was kind of slowing me down because I'm like, do the numbers make sense? Do the numbers make sense? So as I'm doing it, if you go over here to the cost breakdown, this is the cost breakdown. If you were to put a subcontractor in there and it goes off of what the actual bid amount was. So for the cost breakdown, if you look at the cost per clean, on average would be $173 per clean. So that account would be $173 per clean. And then the rate per cleaning per hour kind of averages out to $43.27. Kind of on the lower end of where I like to be, but I mean it's not too low. So it kind of works. And then if you keep going, you scroll down to labor's cost. So this is what it would cost me to put a subcontractor in there per clean. So if we went with the $975 per clean per month on average, it would be $112.50. That's what it would average out to. And if you're having kind of a conversation or negotiation, they're like, well, I don't know if that's enough. You can go here and see that, hey, for this amount, for the amount of hours that you're doing, it averages out to $28 an hour that you'll be working. That's what you'll be earning. So that's kind of helps you with your negotiation process. And then it goes down further where, per clean, you understand that you will be making, even though you're paying them $112.50 per clean on average, you'll be making a profit per clean of $60.58. So now you already know that. And you can kind of figure out from these numbers, you find out what the percentage rate that is, and that's about 35% kind of a profit. Now that's not taking into account the expenses that you're going to have from putting in a subcontractor or employee. Then that goes down further here where it breaks down, it adds in those expenses, and it breaks down to a $300 profit per month, which is a 20% profit margin. So it actually kind of is not bad. It's not a bad number. I try to get a little bit higher, but that kind of goes into the negotiation of how much you're going to pay your subcontractor and what you're going to do with your employee. So it balances out. Over here on the right side, it gives a revenue breakdown. So if you want to kind of compare it, I have it broken down into subcontractors and employees. So over here, you get an estimated monthly net profit. That's where we got that number from, that 300 down here. Monthly, that's what you'll get is $300 if you put in a subcontractor. But if you put in an employee, it's $645. And yes, that number looks good, but this is going to require more work on your part because it's an employee and there's more things that you're going to be responsible for. So, you kind of got to figure out which is best. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make more money profit-wise, but you're still going to be losing more time because of a lot of stuff, other things that you have to kind of incorporate and do. So also it shows the percentage gross profit that you're going to make. So 20% profit for a subcontractor, 43% for if you have an employee. This is annual gross revenue. That account, of course, is the same. It's the same number. So this number is always going to be the same, but the net profit is going to be different. This is the net profit, $3,600 for your subcontractor, and $7,745 if you have an employee. So now we scroll down a little bit further and you can see more numbers. I know it's kind of like a number overload, but that's the kind of guy I am. I love numbers. I like being able to see where the money is coming and going. So now over here, when you get down to and this breaks down the subcontractor and all that other stuff. You don't have to input any of this just by inputting it up top. All this is auto-populated. So now if you scroll down and you want to see how the breakdown is for the employees, remember I said that even though it's a higher profit margin for the employees, there's still a lot more things that you're going to be responsible for. You're going to have to get supplies. Of course, you still have the insurance and the administrative costs, which is the overhead. I need to go ahead and fix that and make that kind of the same. But then you have labor taxes and all that other stuff that you have to pay. So even though you're getting more profit in reference to how much you're paying out to your employee, there are other expenses that's going to be required. So I kind of break all that down so you can see it. And I apologize if I'm talking a little fast. I don't want this video to be too long. And this kind of breaks down what it looks like. 1,500 is what the original charge is to the client. This is the breakdown of what the expenses are to include the labor cost, which was the 519. So with that that gives you a profit still of $645, which is really, really good, which is a 40% profit. And then if you scroll down a little bit further, you can it'll actually show you the breakdown of, what employees, if you're going to have, say, one employee, 2, 3, or 4, whatever, it breaks it all down. It adds it all up for you. And then, like I said, when you go back up here, you can kind of look to do a comparison to see which one is better. Yes, this is what you're going to pay out to your subcontractors. This is what you're going to pay out to your employee. But with other expenses, that comes to $1,200, and this one comes to $854. So it makes you kind of understand, okay, yeah, I may want to go with an employee at this point. I may want to go with a subcontractor. I know my numbers. I know which one is better in reference to the numbers and decide which is best for me. So if you think this is something that kind of, works with, that kind of helps you out, just give me, a like, a thumbs up or whatever. And let me know if there's anything else you would like to see in something like this. And then I'll think about putting this out on for other people to kind of have. We'll see. I'm not sure about that. I may add it to something that I'm kind of starting. So whether this will be available or not, I'm not quite sure. I just want to kind of get your guys' opinion on is there anything else you think I should add to it or take away, whatever. All right. With that being said, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys for taking the time to listen to this video. Hopefully you guys are still out there grinding, making things happen. Right now, if you are not a part of CBN, make sure you get in the CBN. It's actually the best cleaning business entrepreneurial workshop, or I'm sorry, work group, networking group that you can get into. So definitely get into it ASAP. It'll take your business to an exponential level just by getting into a network of people that are so like-minded and so helpful that they're not gatekeepers. They're willing to help you in any way that they can. So until then, you guys have a blessed day. Keep grinding.